Hello and welcome to the Gathering Christmas Quiz 2020. Not that we've had one before, but you're supposed to say the year at the end. Very warm welcome to you to this Christmassy scene. Do say hi in the chat if you're here, because then that gives me an indication of when we can begin quizzing. So do say hi in the chat and tell me what church you're from. Now, your leaders have already been sent the answer form. You'll need one person in your team to fill out the answer form. Remember to come up with a good team name. The best team name, up to my discretion, will get some points. Bonus points for that. What are the other things? Don't cheat. And you'll need to be able to hear the stream at various points. So make sure you can do that. So do say hi in the chat if you're here. Otherwise, yet again, I'm sat here in an empty building with lots of lights and wires and things. No one's saying hi. On my own. If you need links or anything like that, do let me know. I can send things out. Audio stream's current bitrate is what? I'm getting warning messages flashing up. Hello, Matt. Grace Church is here. Fantastic. I've got to do the usual. Can you hear me? Is it okay? Can you hear this? Oh. Hello, Aaron Muldmucker. That's probably Paul from Pendennis. Welcome. Welcome. Make sure you got the links. Come up with a good team name. We will begin quizzing in the next couple of minutes. Thanks, Matt. I like the background too. It's nice and Christmassy. Alright, if you've just joined us, do say hi in the chat and tell us what church you're from. Be good to know that you're here. Izzy says hi. Hi. Oh dear, I hope you're all ready to do some good quizzing. We've got 5 rounds this evening. Slightly shorter rounds than before. Got a hi from the Dyers. Hi. We'll start in 2 minutes' time. We'll start at 35 minutes past, according to my clock. You're slightly behind. I'm in the future. Or something. Make sure you got the links, best team name, don't cheat, all that good stuff. If you need anything, please do tell me, and I can get it sent to you. It is a lovely coat rack. Yeah, getting lots of highs in the chat. This is good. Oh, St. Nick's Bathampton are here. Am I saying that right? Bathampton? Do you blend it all in? Welcome. Nice to have you with us. Alright, we're going to start in 1 minute. Oh, whoops, I've just accidentally opened Spotify on my computer. That's probably not a good idea. There we are. Whitcomb Baptist are here. Fantastic. Oh, everything's frozen. Thank you, I like my keyboard too. Oh, is that broken for everyone? Oh, we've got some issues. Hang on. Oh, hi, Hannah. I have frozen, haven't I? Oh dear. Oh dear. This has all gone terribly wrong. It was going so well. think my camera's just died. Give me a second. Oh, it's still broken. Oh dear. Right, well, I'll tell you what. While I fix this, we shall run through what's going to happen this evening. Sorry, ignore the place where it says camera. That's where I should be. This evening we're going to do rounds 1 and 2. Then we've got an interview intermission, which has been very kindly recorded for us by some guys at Widcombe. Then we'll do rounds 3 to 5. Then we'll have the talk, which has been recorded for us this evening by James Morrison from Kensington Baptist. And then we'll have the talk, and we're switching things around. Rather than having the discussion after the results, we're going to do the talk and the discussion, and then the results will come at the very end. I'm quiet. Honestly, I thought I had everything working fine, and then it all broke on me. Isn't that great? I'll try one more time to fix this. Oops. Aha! I did it. There we are. All right. In which case, we shall crack on with the quiz. Make sure you've got your Google form open. It's time for round number 1. Round 1 is a Christmas puzzles round. There are a variety of different puzzles in this round. That's how it works. Here you go. Here's the first 5 questions all in one go. Unscramble these Christmas words, and I shall give you 2 minutes to do all 5 words. Off you go. You've got 1 more minute. I recommend you write them down just in case you don't get them done in time, and then you can keep going. "20 seconds remaining." All right, and that's all the time you're getting for those. I hope you've written them down. We're going to move on to question number 6 in our Christmas puzzles round. Question number 6 of round 1. If it takes 5 elves 5 minutes to make 5 toys, how long would it take 100 elves to make 100 toys? You've got a minute. Okay, you're going to love this next question, especially if you enjoy maths lessons. Question number 7 of the Christmas Puzzles round. Tom received all the gifts from the 12 Days of Christmas song. Rachel turned up late and only got the gifts from day 7 to the end. How many gifts do they have between them? So what's the total number of presents that Tom and Rachel got? You've got, say, a minute and a half. 45 seconds remaining. Well, I hope your mental math is very quick, because that's all the time for that one. Question number 8. This is the final question of round 1. Only 8 questions in round 1. Question number 8. Who hides in the bakery at Christmas? Think about it. You got a minute and a half. "35 seconds remaining. "10 seconds. All right, and that's all the questions in round 1, the Christmas Puzzles round. Which means we're going to jump straight on to round number 2. Round number 2, you'll need to go to the next page if you're filling out the form. Don't submit it yet, but you need to go to the next page, I believe, to fill out for round 2. By the way, if you get any problems with the form, let me know. I can fix them on the fly. So, the first 6 notes in this round on my wonderful little keyboard here, I will play the first 6 notes of a famous Christmas carol or Christmas song, and what you need to do is tell me what the song is called. I just need the name of the song. I don't need an artist or anything like that. I just need to know the name of the song. So I'll play you the first 6 notes. Make sense? Can you all hear this okay? It's probably slightly too loud looking at it. It's probably peaking. I I hope you can hear that. Oh, I think I put the instructions on the screen. There you go. I'll play the first 6 notes of a Christmas carol or song. You must tell me what it's called. I got a yes telling me I think you can hear it. Good. Loud and clear. Excellent. All right. Here you go. This is question 1. Okay? Question 1. I will play it twice. The first 6 notes, I'll play it twice with a gap in between. You ready? Question 1. And again. What's it called? All right. Question number 2 in the first 6 notes round. What tune is this from? Let me make sure I get it right. And for the second time, that one's easy. That shouldn't take you long. Okay, question number 3 now. Number 3. This one's a bit more tricky. Enjoy. Here we go. That's all you're getting. It's the first 6 notes. Here it is again. I'll give you a bit longer on that one. Because that one's hard, I'll do it again. So this is question 3 again. I'll play it one more time because it's a bit tricky. Just moved it up an octave. Okay, question 4 of the first 6 notes round. Question 4. And for a second time. That one was quite easy, so is the next one. So I'm going to go straight on to question 5. This is question 5. And for the second time. Okay, that one was easy as well. Question 6. Oh, let me get this right. Right, question 6. And for the second time on question 6. Alrighty, question number 7. Question number 7. And for a second time. Alright, and now question 8. This is question 8. Ooh. For the second time. I'll give it to you for a third time because it's a bit of a weird one. Ooh. Okay, I'll give you 15 seconds to make sure you're happy with your answers on that round. 15 seconds. Alrighty. Which means we've come to the end of round 2, which means it's time for our interview intermission. Our interview intermission this time has been recorded for us by some people from Widcombe Baptist. So I'll hand you over to them now. Enjoy.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Kitty, one of the team involved in youth work at Widcombe Baptist Church in Bath. Two of our young people have really kindly agreed to have a little chat with me this evening about Christmas. So could you both introduce yourselves and tell us one family Christmas tradition or a highlight of Christmas time for you?
I'll go first if you want.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm Grace and I'm 16 and I'm in year 12. And my family's tradition is that on Christmas Day, instead of a traditional Christmas lunch, we each get to pick a food that we like and we have that on the table instead.
Nice.
Hi, I'm Jazz. I'm also 16, but I'm in year 11. And our Christmas tradition is on the 27th, we all do a family trip to London with all my cousins and aunts. And we go and have Chinese food, which is really nice.
Sure. So it sounds like that one might be a little bit different this year.
Non-existent this year, I think.
Shame. Whereas Grace, I guess at least you get to still pick your different things for lunch.
We can indeed. Co-op will still be open.
Nice. So, I mean, there's lots of fun stuff that goes on at Christmas time, but as I know you both know, Christmas is all about Jesus. Do you find it easy to keep Jesus at the center of Christmas, or do you think it's easy to get distracted? I'll go to you first this time, Jazz.
I think it's quite easy to get distracted, especially when it's the kind of the weeks in between the weekends of thinking about what you're going to get, what you're going to do with your family. And then sort of when Christmas extends, when you go back to school and it's how was your Christmas? It's not, oh, I went to church and did this. It's how much did I get? What food did I eat?
Sure. How about you, Grace?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think there's so much like tradition around Christmas that isn't necessarily focused on Jesus and on being at church, and that it's really easy to sort of lose what we're celebrating in all like the excitement, or maybe celebrating it at school in a non-religious way and all that sort of stuff.
Sure. So why would you be worried about getting distracted from Jesus? Why does that matter?
I think it's so important because it's sort of, you know, the key point of our faith. If if Jesus hadn't been born and we didn't celebrate that as a good thing, then we're completely missing the point, really, of, you know, quite a big bit of the Bible. I think it's so important that we still have our focus on that nowadays, because I don't know, I feel like being a Christian is becoming more and more important.
Sure.
Could you repeat the question again, please?
Yeah, sure. It's just, why would you be worried about getting distracted from Jesus? Why does it matter? Why not just go along with the fun and the presents?
I think it's quite easy to skip over. Like, I've done it for years now and only just realised it this year, that God became human and came to earth. Like, it's quite easy to forget that and forget that that's what Christmas is about, that the little baby isn't just a cute little baby, it is God, and he is on earth in all of our mess. So I think it's important to just marvel at that and think, how amazing is our God? He came to earth.
Great. So, with that in mind, that sense of marveling at what God has done, what could help you focus on Jesus this Christmas, do you think?
So personally, what I like to do is those online Bible studies on pretty much any Bible app, I think. And you can do like a bit a day, and especially I think it's really helpful to do one a day, especially through Advent, because, you know, the tradition is the chocolate Advent calendar. And again, we're sort of missing the point that we're counting down to celebrating Jesus rather than celebrating something, you know, that everyone's celebrating. And they're really good, I think, to sort of hone your focus on what you're actually looking towards and looking forward to. And you can sort of find them to suit however you like to do your Bible studies, I think.
That's a great suggestion. Thanks, Grace. How about you, Jazz?
Be like looking at the Christmas story each day and looking at different parts of it, looking kind of the Old Testament prophecies and the New Testament, and then the weird bit in Revelation with the dragon, and stripping it back to what Christmas is actually about, and not thinking and defining Christmas by, okay, presents, food, family, but actually thinking Christmas is Christmas because Jesus came down and he's always done that. Whereas, yeah, it's quite easy to get distracted in that.
Okay, great. So that's really helpful. Thank you both for sharing with us. I really hope that you both have a very happy and Jesus-filled Christmas.
Fantastic. Wasn't that a brilliant little interview? Thank you very much, Kitty, Grace and Jazz, for filming that for us, and some good little bits of advice there. How to keep Jesus, how to keep Christ at the centre of Christmas, about Advent devotionals. Yeah, very good idea. There's some excellent ones online. And I liked what Jazz said about looking at the Old Testament prophecies, the stuff in the New Testament, and the weird bit in Revelation with the dragon. Very interesting. Ask your youth leaders if you don't know about that bit. All right, well, thank you very much for recording that for us. It's always one of my favourite parts of the evening, actually, getting to hear from different young people and doing an interview with different youth leaders from different churches who've been joining in with the Gathering quizzes. So thank you so much for recording that for us. Really helpful stuff there. Okay, at this point, we carry on with our quiz with rounds 3 to 5. Make sure you've got the form open, whoever you've got filling in the form. And it's time for round 3. We did a round like this last time. It's the A to Z round. So, if question 1's answer begins with an A, then question 2's answers will begin with B, and so on. So A, B, C, D. If an answer is Z, then the next answer will be A. So it's a wraparound thing. The A to Z round, also called Alpha Links. All right? Do the rules make sense? I hope they do. So here we go. This is round 3, our Christmas A to Z round. Question number 1. What does Nat King Cole like to roast over an open fire? What does Nat King Cole like to roast over an open fire? The camera broke again. There we are. That's question 1. That's enough time for that. Question number 2. Reindeer kebab. All right. Question number 3. Highly calorific Christmas drink. That's more a clue than a question, really, but there you are. Question 3. Highly calorific Christmas drink. All right, question number 4. 3. Question number 5. A wreath of flowers and leaves worn on the head or hung as a decoration. A wreath of flowers and leaves worn on the head or hung as a decoration. Question number 6. Ilex aquifolium. Ilex or IX aquifolium. These are all Christmas related, remember? As the next one makes clear, question 7, a Christmassy house. A Christmassy house. Okay, question number 8. Ice bringing character. Ice bringing character. Okay, question number 9. St. Nick's opposite number. St. Nick's opposite number. And the last question of the Christmas A to Z round. Question 10. Thoroughly checked. Thoroughly checked. Alright, and that's the end of round 3, the A to Z round. Hopefully you're able to join them all up together. Alright, round number 4. If you're filling out the form, you'll need to go to the next page for this one. And if you're filling out the form, you'll notice there's only 4 questions in round 4. Round 4 is the badly described Christmas movies round. We did a round like this earlier in the year, but for normal movies, well, I've brought this round back for Christmas movies. So in this round, I will give you a bad description of a Christmas movie. All you need to do is tell me the name of said Christmas movie. Make sense? Okay. Here we go. Question 1 of round 4. Naive tall man in tights meets his dad. Naive tall man in tights meets his dad. "20 seconds remaining. Alright, now leaders, hold back this round. I'm sure you all know these, but, give you young people a chance. Question 2. Home burglary goes wrong. You've got a minute. 30 seconds remaining. Thinking about it, that one's not that bad a description, but this one is. Question 3. Free rail travel for children. Twenty seconds left. Okay, and the final question of the badly described Christmas movies round. Question 4. Foolish rendition of a classic Christmas story. You have a minute. Fifteen seconds. Okay, that's the end of round 4. Now we come to round 5, which is a slightly different round. Round 5 is the Simply the Best round. In this round, each question I'll give you a letter. You need to give me the best Christmassy word you can think of beginning with that letter. The caveat is, if you give the same answer as another team, you lose 1 point. Okay, you lose 1 point if you give the same answer as another team. So I recommend, I'm going to give you a minute and a half per question on this round. I recommend you try and get down as many as possible and then try and pick the most unlikely one. Okay, so you're going to have a minute and a half for the Simply the Best round. It's categories. Shh, copyright. A minute and a half, here we go. So, question 1, your letter is the letter R. "45 seconds left. I'll give you a 15-second warning. "15 seconds remaining. Make sure you pick your best. Okay, your second letter, the best Christmassy word, starting with T. The letter T, a minute and a half, starting now. $15 remaining, 15 seconds. Okay, question 3. Best Christmassy word starting with the letter A. Off you go, minute and a half. $15 remaining, 15 seconds. Okay, question 4. Best Christmassy word starting with the letter L. Off you go, minute and a half. $15 left, 15 seconds. Okay, and the final question for the quiz. Best Christmassy word starting with, you guessed it, Z. "15 seconds remaining." Okay, and that is your time. Which means we will come on to the talk in just a moment, but first of all I need to make sure you submit your answers. So please, now is the time to submit your answer sheet. Make sure you've got something on every answer. And once you're ready, press submit on the form and then I'll get it through. There we are, got one come through already. Oh, there's already some excellent names coming through. Oh, it's going to be hard for me to judge these. Oh, they're very funny. And I won't forget anyone this time. I do apologise. Last time I forgot a whole team in the results. I think they came joint third with like 3 other people. Oh, there's a couple of very similar ones. I've probably oh no, I've not frozen. That's good. Okay, I think... How many am I looking for? Probably waiting for a few more. Make sure you submit your responses. If you can say so in the chat when you've submitted yours, because obviously you've all put very funny things, so I'm not quite sure what everyone's put. So if you can tell me in the chat once you've submitted your form, that would be excellent. Couple more coming in. I think based on last time I need a couple more still. Here we go. WC submitted. Grace Church sent theirs in. KBC Youth submitted. Oh my goodness me. Oh, I think I can tell which one of these. Okay, right. I think I've got enough now. Don't send it in too late, otherwise it won't get marked. Okay, what's going to happen now is we're going to have a talk, which has been kindly recorded for us by James Morrison from Kensington Baptist. After that point, on the screen, the discussion questions will appear. So once the talk is finished, that's the time to have your discussion. There'll be a 10-minute timer on the screen. It'll give you 10 minutes to do a bit of discussion. You can always do a bit more after we've done the results. So I won't say anything in between the talk and the discussion, which is a relief. Yes, and I shall get on with marking. So, without further ado, I shall hand over to James.
It's Friday afternoon and the final bell goes. It's the moment you've been waiting for weeks. School's over for 2020. Woohoo! And as you're making your way out of class, someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, what are you doing this weekend? A few of us are getting together to play games online. Fancy joining?" And your heart, it skips a beat. You've never really been in with this crowd before. And here on the final day of school in 2020, they're inviting you in. You try to act cool. Sure, that sounds great. When is it? And they say, Sunday evening. Your heart drops. Because this Sunday, your church is having its carol service. And you know your parents are going to really want you to go. Fast forward to Christmas Day. All the presents have been opened, all the food has been eaten, and as your family are starting to fall asleep on the sofa, you get out your phone and start looking at your notifications. And as you're scrolling through, your heart, it starts dropping again. Because Holly, she's received this massive kit of Benefit makeup. Your mate Liam, he's got a new pair of Nike Airs. Lizzie, she's been bought a new iPhone 12. And Jerome has got a PS5. How on earth did his parents get their hands on one of those? And in that moment, you just start dreading the time when they ask you what you got for Christmas. Because your family, they don't really go in for buying big and expensive things for you like that at Christmas. And what they got you was a couple of t-shirts from TK Maxx, a new Bible, and some books to help with your history project. Christmas. It's meant to be the best time of the year, right? And on the one hand, there's all your friends from your neighborhood or your school, and they just get 2 weeks off from school, and they've got like 2 weeks of uninterrupted streaming and gaming and perhaps even some drinking. And then on the other hand, there's people you know, Christians you know, maybe people at your church who just get so excited about celebrating the birth of Jesus. But from where you're standing, all of that church stuff, it just seems so small and unimpressive. On the one hand, there's your friends. On the other hand, there's people at church, and you kind of feel stuck in the middle. But after all, how can a story about a baby that was born 2,000 years ago ever really compare with a new iPhone or a PS5? Well, what I want to show you just for the next 10 minutes is that what Christians celebrate at Christmas, well, it's far bigger than you or I may have ever realized before. And here's the thing. When you see it, all of the parties, all of the presents, they just don't seem that impressive after all. This evening we're going to be looking at just one verse from the beginning of John's Gospel. And this verse that we're going to be focusing on comes on the back of the verses that we looked at our last gathering event. You may remember Simon opened up for us the first couple of verses from John's account of Jesus. Let me read a couple of them to refresh your memory. If you've got a Bible, do grab it and open it to John chapter 1. Verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. John starts his account of Jesus by telling us that our world, it's not an accident. The universe that we live in, it's not just a random collection of stuff and energy just kind of like smashed together. No. John tells us that the whole of our universe, it's centered on a person. And this person, he calls him the Word. This Word, he was there in the beginning. He was God, he was with God. In fact, there is nothing in all of the universe that hasn't been made through this person who John calls the Word. Just think about that for a second. That's a pretty amazing thought, isn't it? There isn't anything that's ever existed in the universe that wasn't made through this person. In fact, maybe I'm being pretty unfair because, let's be honest, that's a pretty hard thing for us to get our heads around. So maybe let me try and help you think about that a little bit more. here is a sheet of paper, okay? Just an ordinary sheet of paper, the kind of sheet of paper that you put in your printer. Now, I want you to imagine that the distance between the Earth and the sun, that's 93 million miles, the distance between the Earth and the sun was the thickness of this sheet of paper. Okay. Now, if the distance between the Earth and the sun, 93 million miles, was the thickness of this sheet of paper, the distance between the Earth and the next furthest star would require us to stack paper 70 foot high. That's bigger than this church building that I'm standing in right now. And what's more, the distance between one edge of the galaxy that we live in, the Milky Way, and the other, it's so big that to measure it, you would have to stack paper like this 300 miles high. That's the distance between where I'm standing in Bristol right now and Dublin in Ireland. And what's more, scientists have shown that the number of galaxies in the universe is greater than all the grains of sand on every beach in the world. Now, I want you to hold that in your head. Then think about this. All of that was created through the Word. The first thing we need to understand this evening is that our universe, it isn't random. The world we live in isn't just a random collection of stuff and energy just smashed together. The whole of the universe, everything from the galaxies in the sky to the bars of galaxies in Tesco's, they were all created by a person. They were all created by the Word. Now, you might be sat at home and thinking, hey, James, yeah, that's a pretty amazing thought. I get that. But come on, it's the 11th of December. You've got a whopping great big Christmas tree next to you. What on earth does that have to do with Christmas? Well, let's have a look at the verse that we're focusing on this evening. If you've got a Bible, have a look at the little number 14, verse number 14. The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son who came from the Father, full of grace and truth. You want to know what all of this has to do with Christmas? Well, that first Christmas, when Mary and Joseph, they took that trip to Bethlehem on a donkey. That first Christmas, when Mary and Joseph arrived in Bethlehem and there wasn't any space for them to stay, so they had to kip over in a smelly and noisy animal barn. Well, that night, the baby that Mary had that night, he was none other than the Word. The baby that Joseph would have had to wrap up in some old rag and lay to sleep in an animal feeding trough. He was none other than the one that John tells us at the beginning of his gospel. The one that the wise men and the shepherds came to worship was none other than the one who created the galaxies in the sky and the bars of galaxies in Tesco. The second thing we need to understand this evening is this. When we go to a carol concert or a carol service and it looks a bit unimpressive, maybe the singing's a bit out of tune, maybe the church live stream is a bit glitchy, we need to understand that what we're celebrating, what we're participating in is so much bigger than we can barely even imagine. Because when we celebrate Jesus at Christmas, we're celebrating the day when the God of the universe came into the universe he created. When we celebrate Jesus at Christmas, we're celebrating the day when the God who made us came to reveal God to us. When we celebrate Jesus at Christmas, we're celebrating the day when the God who made the world came into his dark and broken world so that he might grow up and be beaten and bruised and butchered on a Roman cross, so that whoever might believe in him may have eternal life in his name. And here's the thing, when you see that, the iPhones, the Nike Airs, the Benefit makeup kits, and even PS5s, they just don't seem so quite impressive after all. I want to finish by telling you about a family who saw that. I want to finish by telling you about a family who saw the glory of the Lord Jesus at Christmas, well, and it transformed everything. I want to tell you about a dad called Tony. And one Christmas, Tony came home to his family and made an announcement. This is what he said. This Christmas, family, we're having no presents. This Christmas, we're having no fancy food. We're having no expensive trips to the cinema. What? Why would Tony say that? Well, the reason Tony made this announcement was because Tony wanted his family to celebrate Christmas, and he didn't want there to be the distraction of presents and parties and profiteroles. And here's the thing. All the money that they wouldn't have spent, they would give to a little church in a village in the middle of nowhere, thousands of miles away. Now, no doubt, Tony's kids, Bart and Lisa, they would have had some questions. But after talking about it with their parents and praying about it, that's what they decided to do. And so that Christmas, life in many ways was just like any other time in the year. Okay, of course they celebrated Jesus. They'd have sung about him together. They'd have prayed to him together. They would have gone to Christmas events and carol services. But everything that they did and kind of the food they ate was just exactly like every other time in the year. Except when it came to Christmas morning. Because do you know what happened on Christmas morning? Tony's wife, Peggy, and Lisa and Bart, they came down the stairs, and on Christmas morning they found Tony sat by their table with an envelope in their hands. This didn't normally happen. They were a bit taken aback. And with a big smile on his face, he gave it to his family. He said, "Happy Christmas." Because when they opened it, do you know what was inside? 4 plane tickets to take them to that village that they'd given all that money to. And that's what happened. A couple of months later, Tony and his family, they flew to that remote village, and they took a car that drove them there. And as they were coming into the village, something amazing happened. The village had found out that Tony and his family were coming, and so they lined the road that Tony and his family were driving in. So they came into the village. And as they were lining the road, they had all of these homemade and precious presents that they had made, and they were showering it over the car that Tony was driving. And for the next 2 days, Tony and Peggy and Bart and Lisa, they spent time with these people. They got to know these people. They helped these people. They worshiped Jesus with these people. And after 2 days, when Tony and his family had packed their bags and they'd put them in the car, and they're driving back out on that road, Bart and Lisa turned to their dad and they said, "Dad, that was the best Christmas present ever." What we need to understand is that Christmas is bigger than we have ever realized before. Because when we come to celebrate Christmas, when we come to celebrate Jesus, the one who created the universe and came into this dark and broken world as a baby so that he might grow up and be beaten and broken and butchered on a Roman cross so that when we believe in him, we might have eternal life. When we see that, it starts to change us. When we see the true meaning of Christmas, we see that benefit makeup, Nike Airs, iPhones, PS5s, well, they all start to look quite unimpressive compared to that.
Alrighty then, that is the end of your discussion time, and it's time to do the results for the quiz. What I shall do is, hang on, this should wrap around. Haha, there we go. Alright, round one, the Christmas puzzles. You guys got most of these. Feliz Navidad, which is Spanish for Merry Christmas or Happy Christmas. Gingerbread, mistletoe, Yuletide, Joya Noel. Question 6. I caught a couple of you out with this one. If it takes 5 elves 5 minutes to make 5 toys, then it takes 100 elves 5 minutes to make 100 toys. Think about it. By the way, the results are really close. Question 7. Only one team got this. It's 672. Most of you were woefully underneath. It's cumulative. Each day you get all of the presents. So it's 364, which is how many you get in the normal song, plus 308 for turning up late. And question 8. Who hides in the bakery at Christmas? A mince pie. Mince spy? Yeah, it's a pretty rubbish joke. The first 6 notes round. I caught a few of you out with some of these as well. Number 1 was, of course, the first Noel. Number 2 was Jingle Bells. Number 3, none of you got. Well. It's I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas. The sun is shining, the grass is green, the orange and yeah. I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas. I'm not surprised none of you knew that one. Number 4, Joy to the World. Number 5 was, of course, Away in a Manger, the tune that we English people sing it to, not the American one. Question 6 was Frosty the Snowman, which is one of my favourites. Silent Night, number 7. Very nice. And then 2 of you managed to get the last one, which was All I Want for Christmas is my 2 front teeth. My 2 front teeth, yeah. So well done if you managed to get those. Then we had round 3, the A to Zs. It was chestnuts, Donna, eggnog, 3 French hens, a garland, holly, igloo, Jack Frost, Krampus. It's from an Eastern European legend, I think. And the thoroughly checked, he checks it twice. It's a list. The badly described Christmas movies. Most of you got the first 3, which were Elf, Home Alone, The Polar Express. Number 4 was not Nativity, which a few of you put. No, it's The Muppets Christmas Carol. Foolish Muppets rendition. Christmas Carol. And then we got to the Simply the Best round. Now, I judged this blind. I made sure I didn't know who did which one. I'll read you the answers. There's a couple of duplicates. In fact, one team managed to duplicate 3 times. So they lost 3 points. So for the R's, we had Robin, Redemption, Roasted Chestnuts, Rejoice, Redeemer, Robin again, Rasta Claus, and Red, I gave the points to Redemption and Redeemer because I'm a sucker for theological terms. For T, 2 people put Tenenbaum. Unfortunately, that would have been a good one, but I gave the point to Turkish Delight, which is my favourite. So if you want to send me any, feel free. Beginning with A couple of people put Angel and a couple of people put Archangel. My favourite one was After Eights, because I think they're very nice. L, Lego, Love, Log Burner, Laudation. Weird one. Love, Loving, Light, Lackadaisical, and Love, I gave it to Lackadaisical. And then for Z, there's some good ones here. Zebulun, Zechariah, Zion, 3 people put Zion, Zest, Zoom Christmas, Zzz, I think they were bored at this point. And my favourite one, which got the point, which was the Zither Carol. I thought it was very amusing. I said word. What do you mean? As in one? I said... Oh, I'm confused. Anyway, so, which brings us to the results. I'll also tell you that the team name which won the bonus point, it was close. There were some really good ones, but my favourite was No Zoom at the Inn. No Zoom at the Inn. Well, that was quite funny. So, in joint 4th place, with 22 points, which is very respectable, actually, for this quiz, were the Santas and KBC Youth. Original guys, love it. And then in joint third place, with 23 points, there were 3 teams: Crimbo Grimbo Dons, Ace Church, and the Irrelevant Peas. In joint second place, there were 3 teams with 25 points, so it's quite close. 3 teams: Happy Quizmas, No Zoom in the Inn, or at the Inn, and Michael and the Mince Pies, which meant that in first place, with a wonderful 26 points, the Mince Pies. I can't say it properly. So well done. Congratulations to you for getting 26 points and for winning the Christmas Quiz 2020. Thank you very much. Oh, I see. Turkish Delight is 2 words. Yeah. Sorry. I like Turkish Delight too much. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much to James for recording that talk for us, and to Kitty, Grace, and Jazz for recording that interview. We hope that we'll be seeing you in the new year. I can't remember if we confirmed any dates, but your youth leaders will be getting emails. Thank you so much for joining us. All I want to leave you with saying is have a very happy Christmas, a very Merry Christmas. I hope you manage to keep Christ at the center of your Christmas. And a very happy new year to you too. God bless. Thanks for joining.